Hello folks, shintigercurl here, that dude in the straw hat, bringing you yet another wrestling review. This is going to be a sort of a different one because even though I do have my notes and Joe is here with me, you know what, except for a few good, I'm just going to paraphrase, except for a few good moments like Sin Cara's debut match, and well, pretty much that, there was really nothing worth reporting about this particular Raw. But I will see. I can't even get the words out. I mean, this Raw was just forgettable at best, and just ass at worst. I mean, never mind the fact that R-Truth got over on John Morrison, a guy who got one of the biggest pushes you can expect from a guy from mid-card to the main event. But now, he's in the world title match at a pay-per-view. I don't know whose dick you sucked, R-Truth. I don't know whose dick you sucked, but you must have did one hell of a job to go over on John Morrison and Dolph Ziggler, both of who are much more infinitely more talented in the ring and better and interesting to watch. But this is going to be a special review because earlier tonight it was announced that Edge was coming out to make an announcement. A lot of people on the CBR forums were going to say that it was probably going to be a career career match where he would put his career on the line against Alberto Del Rio at a ladder match for the title at Extreme Rules. But what happened? You see, if you don't know or haven't heard, Adam Copeland, aka Edge, retired tonight. Now, at first, a lot of us thought it was a kayfabe or some kind of storyline, but I checked my sources and they confirm it, that Edge's doctors say that if you didn't know, about 6 years ago, Edge broke his neck, and he had to have some kind of major elective surgery to have it repaired, and it's never been the same since. So he said that for the past few weeks, his arms have been beginning to feel numb at one point, and he's just not feeling the same way he was. Weeks before WrestleMania, he got checked out. He was cleared to go ahead, but after WrestleMania, the trainers asked him to go look in to another doctor to see how he's done, and the doctor says that his neck injury has progressed to a point where if he continued to wrestle, then he would most likely end up in a wheelchair. Now, so that only leaves him with one real option left, and that was to retire. And this was very, very shocking to a lot of people, myself included. That the scuttlebutt around the internet was that Edge would retire in 2012, so it means he had at least another year in him. But for him to retire like this it's sad, but it's also happy because Edge is retiring as world champ. He just retired his last match at WrestleMania 27, and he went out as a champion. He came out as champion, beat Del Rio, and retained. It's the first time he's ever done that in a long time. The first time he's ever gone in as world champion and retained at WrestleMania. And it was one of the better matches on a very lackluster WrestleMania. It was one of the better matches, and you could actually see in Edge's face that this was a very hard decision to make. I mean, for someone to give up wrestling, for someone who is as dedicated to the business as Edge is, and you could actually see it in his face. You could see the pain and the regret. I mean, I thought Edge had another good year in him. He was already getting into a very good feud with Del Rio. So I don't know. So if this is kayfabe, then this is very bad taste for for WWE, but I don't think it is. And considering that he's a SmackDown guy, it would have been better for him to do all this on SmackDown, the show that he's on, the show that he's the champion for. At least with this, the same show that his best friend Christian is on. And afterwards, he walked out of the ring, and of course, all the wrestlers, well, the majority of them anyway, lined up and they were clapping for him and they were hugging him, and you could tell. And the reason I know this is not fake is because the first person he hugged was Dolph Ziggler. Dolph Ziggler was at the head of the line, and he and Dolph Ziggler have had an intense feud over the past couple of months. So I don't think they would break that. And a lot of people came out to cheer him on. Wade Barrett was out there. Daniel Bryan was out there. Tyson Kidd, Khali. They did a little fist bump thing. He hugged Tyson Kidd, who is a heel, and hugged Natalya, who I assume they're very close, seeing as how they're. I think he is from the dungeon. I don't remember. So, but tonight we saw the end of a legendary career. Of a landmark career. I mean, Edge. I actually remember the first match I ever saw Edge in. I mean, it was in 1986. There was a lot of build-up for Edge. He had promos and vinaigrettes all over the place. And I remember watching it on Raw, and Edge was just in the crowd. He was just at the start of the show. He was in the crowd. He was just sitting there all broody like, and he was just sitting there in the crowd. He wasn't doing anything, just sitting there brooding. And then when this music came up, he just popped right up, got in the audience, and he was wrestling one of the Los Boricua. It was an all Mexican stable headed up by Savio Vega. It was during a big stable war between the Nation of Domination, the Disciples of Apocalypse, and the Los Boricuas. It was a short match because Edge kind of botched a flipping move outside and landed on the guy's head wrong, and he had to be taken out. I don't know if the guy ever recovered or not, but it was pretty much Edge's debut, and everyone really took him seriously after that. And then he moved on to become a pseudo vampire with the Brood, which introduced us to both Gangrel and Christian. His so-called brother, aka his best friend, and they would go on to form one of the most successful tag teams after breaking away from the Brood. They would go on to be one of the most successful tag teams in the history of professional wrestling. The Edge and Christian, and they were legitimately great tag team, but they also were very funny. I mean, for the benefit of those with flash photography, and he, along with that team, along with the Hardy Boys and the Dudleys, revolutionized the ladder match with the repeated TLC matches that they had. There was a great three-way feud between those three teams. It was a good time to be a tag team fan. And after they broke away, Edge did win the King of the Ring, and he kind of broke the curse by going on to be a success. He won the Intercontinental title several times. He feuded with a lot of people. But when he turned heel, that's when he really blew up, and he won his first world title, and he was the first Money in the Bank winner. He was the first man to ever win the Money in the Bank ladder match, and he cashed it in on John Cena at the Elimination Chamber. And I remember that was like yesterday. No one thought he could do it, but no one could have at that point could imagine that Edge would be world champion, given his history and the Lita thing. But he won the belt, and he has gone and run with it. He's become a rated R superstar. He has done things outlandish and crazy, but you always remembered him. A lot of people said that the spear he does wasn't the best, but you know, if it was an Edge match, it would be a hell of an entertaining match, because Edge was a consummate performer. He is a lifelong fan of the WWE. He did sit in and watch live front row center at WrestleMania 7, where Ultimate Warrior took on Hulk Hogan, title versus title, the Ultimate Challenge. So that's a fan right there. And I don't know what much to say. I mean, the guy has won more titles than anyone in the history of the WWE. He is an 11-time world champion. A lot of guys can say they've been world champion, but to actually have held it 11 times, I mean, that's Ric Flair territory. Only about a handful of people have held it over 10 times. Let's see. John Cena's held it 10 times. Has been a world champion 10 times. Kurt Angle's been a 13-time world champion, tied with Triple H for world champion holds. And of course, nobody's beating Ric Flair's accumulated 16 combined world title runs. So there's that. But sorry, just a little broken up about it. I mean, it's a good thing because he went out as champion. I mean, how many guys can say that they're retiring as champion? He got out when he needed to get out. And it's a shame that he's the only member of the original TLCers. He's the first member of the TLC boys. Him, his brother Christian, the Dudleys, and the Hardys to retire. And he retired in a better condition than Jeff Hardy is right now. You know, but I'm not going to rant on Jeff Hardy. It's not worth it. This is Edge's time. So, you got anything to add, Joe? He's very broken up about it. He's an Edgehead. So, I did not review Raw tonight because I just didn't feel like it. And this is Edge's. This is Edge's. This is Edge's review. So this is for Edge. This is for you, Adam. I mean, you gave me so many matches. You gave me so many great memories, so many great matches, and you were a consummate performer. So, a round of applause to you, Mr. Copeland. You deserve to be in the Hall of Fame right now. You gave us the great matches. You gave up you sacrificed your body for the entertainment of the crowd because you love this damn business with all your heart. So I hope you do well in whatever endeavors you go at, and you will be forever remembered, and you'll be missed dearly, Edge. And if you watching this, if you want to share any special memories you have with about Edge, please leave a comment at the bottom, and or if you just want to reminisce, just go through YouTube, look for any of his matches, and just reminisce. I mean, other week I just finished watching the triangle the triangle ladder match that Edge, Christian, the Hardys, and the Dudleys had at I think it was, well, I forget, but it was an awesome match. So if you want some good memories of Edge, go look those up. If you want to talk about your favorite Edge moments or Edge matches, leave a comment at the bottom. Alright, this is shintigercurl, that dude in the straw hat, and Joe saying good night, wrestle on, and we're going to miss you, Edge.